Ukraine-Russia conflict. In Kyiv, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told leaders at the annual Yalta European Strategy Conference that Russia's recent eastern offensive has failed. He highlighted intense fighting in areas like Sumy, Pokrovsk and Pokrovsk, but said Ukrainian forces have held the line. Zelensky pointed to the past 2 months of Russian attacks, saying they've made no real gains. His comments come as Ukrainian troops continue to defend key positions in the east, where battles remain fierce. Let's have a look at his statements.
На сході, і там зараз найскладніша ситуація. Були наступи на Сумському напрямку, Новопавлівському напрямку, на Покровському напрямку. На мій погляд, всі наступи, які були за останні 2 місяці, провалені Росією, і вони розбиті. Вони це чітко усвідомлюють.
Now we're once again joined by Major General G.G. Davidi. Major General, President Zelensky says Russia's eastern offensive has quote-unquote failed. Militarily speaking, do you agree with this assessment from the Ukrainian president?
Well, I fully agree with the assessment of Ukrainian president because on the ground, Russia has not made any tangible gains. What's going on are the tactical battles, and Russians are paying a very heavy price, even to gain a few hundred yards on the ground. And I don't think that this meat grinder war or the highly attrition war is giving any dividend to the Russian side. Rather, they are paying a very heavy price and suffering very heavy casualties. And this is something like the trench warfare of World War I, where the two forces are locked almost eyeball to eyeball, and there's very little gains that either side is making. So therefore, I think President Zelensky is very right that on the ground, not much of gain have been made by Russians, while they have taken very heavy casualties. But I don't think that this is cost effective, because at the end of the day, you gain few hundred yards, but you pay a very heavy price, and that's not exactly the way the warfare or the war is fought. I think Russia is actually in a state of stalemate, and they're taking very heavy casualties. Once again, I say, perhaps President Putin is convinced that they are winning, but gaining few hundred yards at a very heavy cost, I don't think is the right kind of warfare any nation should indulge. So President Zelensky is quite right that on the ground there's stalemate, and Russian forces have not been able to make any tangible gains. Thomas.
Yes, Major General. Conversely, do you see risks for Ukraine if this battle does remain as fierce as it is right now, with no decisive shifts in the war? Could this prolonged stalemate actually play into Russia's hands?
Well, exactly. The point is that when you fight for tangible victory or tangible gains. And that's not the case here, because the Russian side is not making any tangible gains, and this is a state of stalemate. So I would again reiterate that perhaps President Putin is just keeping the war going, but not making any tangible gains either through the aerial warfare or warfare on the ground. And soon the winter will set in. Even these tactical battles will also further scale down. So I exactly don't know why Russia is continuing with these gains, because perhaps they have a delusion that they will be able to make some tangible gains. But I don't think the front line is going to shift any significantly over a period of time, because both sides appears to be evenly matched, and I don't think any decisive gains would be made by either side. This stalemate continues, but at the end of the day, you fight to make tangible gains or fight for victory, but this fight is only to keep the stalemate going further and further at no cost or no gains. Thomas.
Yes, thank you very much, Major General G.G. Davidi, for taking the time and joining us on the programme. We now move on, and US officials have held talks